Hello, everyone. My name is Samah Salim, and I'm the undergraduate director of AMISOL. And this is a very short video to introduce you to what the department does, as well as to welcome you in advance to Rutgers and hopefully to AMISOL as well. So AMISOL stands for African, Middle Eastern, and South Asian Languages and Literatures. And what we do in the department is that we try to offer, an integrated curriculum that instructs students in the languages and literatures of these three interconnected regions. We use the latest methodologies and technologies to teach a number of regional languages, namely Arabic, Persian, Turkish, Hindi, Urdu, Akan or Twi, which is a language that's spoken in Ghana and the Cote d'Ivoire, and last but not least, Swahili, which is of course a hugely important African language that is widely used throughout Eastern Africa and Southeastern Africa. We also offer a variety of fantastic courses in the literatures and cultures of all three of these regions, including courses on folklore, on cinema, as well as on translation and translation studies. Now, just to give you a very brief sense of the programs that we offer in the department. So we offer a major, of course, as well as a number of minors, and pretty much, almost all of our majors and minors require at least 2 years of language study in your chosen language. So our major, the AMISAL major, actually has two options. There is the regional option, which allows you to study the languages and literatures of one of our three regions in depth. And this, of course, as I said, includes a major language study component. And then the other major option is the global humanities option, which does not require any language study, although, of course, we always do encourage language study. And the global humanities option basically allows you to focus on the culture and politics of all three regions in a contemporary and very interconnected way. Now, for our minors, the department offers a minor in AMISAL, in African, Middle Eastern, and South Asian Languages and Literatures, which is basically an abbreviated version of our regional AMISAL major. And then also, of course, includes a significant language study component. We also offer a number of language minors. The language minors we offer are Arabic, Hindi, Persian, Turkish, as well as African languages. While the Arabic and Hindi minors require study through the advanced level of these languages, our Persian, Turkish, and African languages minor require at least the intermediate level of study. Now, of course, we do, often get a fair number of heritage students, and some of you listening to me today might fall into that category. So students who have a little bit of background already in any of these languages are encouraged to take one of our placement exams in any of these languages and can potentially place directly into intermediate for any of these languages as well, whether for the purposes of the major or the minor. Now, some of you may be wondering about courses that you might be thinking of taking right away from the get-go if you are indeed interested in pursuing either a major or minor option in AMISAL. And we do have a couple of suggestions in this regard. It would be very good idea to start out right away, either by taking a placement test in one of our languages, if you do have background in any of these languages, or enrolling at the elementary level right from the get-go in any of these languages that you might be interested in. Additionally, it's always a good idea to get the two main course requirements for all of our languages, all of our majors and minors out of the way in your first or second year at Rutgers. Now, those two courses are Crossroads, the classical literatures of Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia, which is a course that introduces students to the really rich and vibrant classical, ancient and classical literary traditions of all three of our regions. So that course is required, as I said, for all of our majors and minors, and it's a good idea to sort of take it earlier rather than later in your career at Rutgers. The second course would be one of our three introductory literature courses. So let's say you are doing either the Amisal major in Middle Eastern literatures with Arabic as a language, as your sort of, required language, or even if you're just doing an Arabic minor or a Hindi minor, you would be required to take one of our three introductory literature courses, depending on your area of study and the language that you have chosen to study. Those three courses, of which you would have a choice, obviously, are Introduction to the Literatures of Africa, Introduction to the Literatures of the Middle East, and Introduction to the Literatures of South Asia. So one of those three courses is always a good idea to sort of, take one of those three courses earlier on rather than later. Last but not least, of course, you're probably wondering, well, what kind of career could a degree in Amisal actually prepare me for? And there are a number of very interesting career possibilities and opportunities that would be available to students who major and minor in Amisal. The most obvious is, in the international business sector, where language and culture expertise in all three of our regions would come in very, very useful. The same goes for government service. A number of our students have gone on to careers at the State Department, for example. Another possibility is the nonprofit development sector, the NGO sector in international development, which is also, a hugely sort of burgeoning field, and employment in that sector often depends on the kind of linguistic and cultural expertise that a department like AMISAL offers. Then there's, of course, a potential career in something like translation and interpretation. An AMISAL major or minor would equip you to go on to do a certificate, let's say, in translation and interpretation, or even better, a master's degree in that field. And again, this is a very, sort of up and coming and burgeoning field in our globalized and interconnected world. And finally, for those of you who are maybe thinking of pursuing a graduate career in academia, an AMSAL degree would be eminently suitable for a whole range of postgraduate degrees in the humanities and the social sciences. So again, this is a very short video. I hope it answers some of your basic questions about the department. And needless to say, as AMISAL's undergraduate director, I'm happy and always available to answer your questions by email, to point you in any directions that you might be interested in or might have questions about, and so forth. So again, welcome to Rutgers, and we hope to welcome you to AMISAL in the months to come.